Pakistan-Afghanistan Relations, A Comprehensive Historical Analysis 1947–2022. The relationship between Pakistan and Afghanistan has been characterized by a complex interplay of historical, geopolitical, and socio-economic factors since the partition of British India in 1947. Situated at the crossroads of Central, South, and West Asia, these two nations share not only a porous border but also a turbulent history marked by periods of cooperation, conflict, and mutual mistrust. This documentary explores the evolution of their relationship over the decades, examining key events, challenges, and opportunities that have shaped their bilateral ties from independence to the present day. Chapter 1, Partition and Early Relations 1947–1970s. Following the partition of British India in 1947, Pakistan emerged as a new nation carved out of the northwestern and eastern provinces, while Afghanistan continued as an independent state with a history of resisting British influence. The Durand Line, drawn in 1893 by the British, became a contentious issue as Afghanistan never recognized it as an international border, claiming Pashtun territories within Pakistan. Initially, Pakistan-Afghanistan relations were strained due to the Pashtunistan issue and Afghanistan's support for Pashtun nationalist movements advocating for an independent Pashtun homeland. This led to periodic tensions and diplomatic disputes, with Afghanistan often accusing Pakistan of suppressing Pashtun rights and fostering instability across the border. During the Cold War, Pakistan aligned itself with the United States, while Afghanistan maintained a non-aligned stance but leaned towards the Soviet Union. This ideological divide further complicated their relations, with Afghanistan becoming a focal point for Cold War rivalries in the region. Chapter 2, Soviet Invasion and Mujahideen Resistance 1970s–1980s. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 marked a significant turning point in Pakistan-Afghanistan relations. Pakistan, along with the United States and Saudi Arabia, became a key supporter of Afghan Mujahideen fighters resisting Soviet occupation. The Pakistani military's Inter-Services Intelligence IC agency played a crucial role in training, arming, and providing sanctuary to Mujahideen groups operating from Pakistan's tribal regions. This period saw a massive influx of Afghan refugees into Pakistan, numbering millions by the 1980s, which strained Pakistan's economy and infrastructure. The refugee crisis had long-lasting socio-economic implications, particularly in the border regions where refugee camps were established. Pakistan's support for the Mujahideen not only intensified its involvement in Afghan affairs but also deepened its strategic ties with the United States. However, allegations of Pakistani support for militant groups and concerns over the spread of radical Islamist ideologies began to surface, setting the stage for future challenges in bilateral relations. Chapter 3, Rise of the Taliban and Regional Implications 1990s. Amidst the power vacuum left by the Soviet withdrawal in 1989, Afghanistan plunged into a period of civil war and instability. In the mid-1990s, the Taliban, a militant Islamist group with origins in Pakistan-backed madrasas, emerged as a powerful force in Afghanistan. Pakistan's intelligence agencies saw the Taliban as a stabilizing force and a counterbalance to rival factions, leading to increased support for their rise to power. The Taliban's capture of Kabul in 1996 and subsequent control over most of Afghanistan strained Pakistan's relations with other countries and international organizations, which criticized Pakistan for supporting a regime with harsh interpretations of Islamic law and human rights abuses, particularly against women and minorities. During this period, Afghanistan accused Pakistan of interference in its internal affairs, including alleged support for militant groups and the Taliban insurgency. These accusations exacerbated bilateral tensions and contributed to a lack of trust between the two countries, despite Pakistan's efforts to maintain influence and stability along its western border. Chapter 4, Post 9/11 Realignment and War on Terror 2001–2014. The events of September 11, 2001, and the subsequent U.S.-led invasion of Afghanistan dramatically altered regional dynamics and Pakistan's role in the region. Pakistan, under pressure from the United States, joined the global war on terror and provided crucial logistical and intelligence support to coalition forces targeting the Taliban and al-Qaeda remnants in Afghanistan. While Pakistan officially aligned with international efforts to combat terrorism, its tribal regions became a sanctuary for militant groups, including Afghan Taliban factions and al-Qaeda operatives. This dual policy of supporting U.S. counterterrorism efforts while maintaining ties with Afghan Taliban leaders strained Pakistan's relations with both Afghanistan and the United States, leading to accusations of double-dealing and insufficient efforts to curb terrorism. The use of U.S. drone strikes against militant targets in Pakistan's tribal areas further strained bilateral relations, fueling anti-American sentiment and domestic backlash against Pakistan's perceived cooperation with foreign military operations on its soil. Chapter 5, Transition and Contemporary Challenges 2014–2022. The drawdown of U.S. forces from Afghanistan in 2014 and the subsequent Taliban resurgence posed new challenges for Pakistan-Afghanistan relations. The Taliban's rapid takeover of Kabul in August 2021 following the U.S. withdrawal highlighted Pakistan's complex relationship with the Taliban leadership and its implications for regional stability. Pakistan played a crucial role in facilitating peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government, hosting several rounds of negotiations in Islamabad and providing diplomatic support to the intra-Afghan dialogue process. However, concerns persisted over the Taliban's commitment to inclusive governance, human rights, and regional security, particularly regarding cross-border militant activities and refugee flows. Economic cooperation between Pakistan and Afghanistan, including trade agreements and infrastructure projects, aimed to promote regional connectivity and economic development. Initiatives such as the Afghanistan-Pakistan Transit Trade Agreement sought to facilitate bilateral trade and transit routes, although implementation challenges and security concerns hindered their effectiveness. Conclusion. Throughout their history, Pakistan and Afghanistan have navigated a complex relationship shaped by historical grievances, geopolitical rivalries, and shared challenges. From the Durand Line dispute to the Soviet invasion, rise of the Taliban, and post-9/11 realignment, both countries have experienced periods of cooperation and conflict, often influenced by external powers and internal dynamics. Moving forward, addressing mutual concerns such as border security, refugee management, and economic cooperation will be crucial for fostering stability and promoting regional peace. Despite historical tensions and contemporary challenges, Pakistan and Afghanistan share a common interest in combating terrorism, enhancing economic connectivity, and building a sustainable future for their peoples.